Hey there, coffee friends. One of my favourite and more versatile brewing devices that I'm often recommending is the Clever Coffee Dripper. It's super easy to use, so it's great for beginners, and it's incredibly portable too, often making its way into my travel bag as a little bit of last-minute good coffee insurance before going away on holidays. Now, it's an immersion brewer, which means that the coffee and water are steeped together over a period of time. But its key point of difference is that it uses a paper filter, which helps hold back all the grounds and sediment and leaves you with a clean cup. And the clever part about this is that at the base of the brewer, there's a little rubber stopper here which helps hold all the water back inside the device, until which time you're ready to decant into a cup or carafe. Now, in this video guide, we'll take you through a really easy step-by-step approach to help you get the most out of your Clever Coffee Dripper. Let's brew! Now, to begin with, you're going to need the following items: a kettle with some hot boiling water, a Clever Coffee Dripper, a set of digital scales and timer, some fresh filter roasted coffee, a coffee grinder, some number 4 size filter papers with a stirring spoon or paddle, and a large coffee cup or carafe. Now, the first step is to boil our brew water. If you have a digital kettle, then I recommend setting it to 96 degrees and holding there as a great start point. And then we're going to need to fold our filter paper, firstly along the bottoms and then along the side, so that it allows it to sit snugly inside its home, the brewer. Now, we are going to need to give this filter paper a little bit of a rinse to start with. And we do this so that we can remove any little papery flavors from the filter paper itself that might get imparted into our brew. Now, if you're thinking about skipping this step, I recommend running a little bit of an experiment by steeping one of these filter papers in a pot of water for a few minutes and then just drinking that water. And the result you'll find is papery flavored water with a bit of a drying finish. Certainly not anything that we'd want to have inside our coffee pot. So I think once you've run that experiment, I think you'll always remember to do the rinsing process. Using the hot water from the kettle too also serves the purpose of heating up our brew vessel as well as our coffee cup or decanter as well. So now it's time to grind our coffee. Now, we simply take 25 grams of pre-weighed out filter coffee and add it to our coffee grinder. I'm using the Baratza Encore here on the 18 to 20 grind setting, with the end result aiming to try and create a grind size that's somewhat visually consistent with that of, say, a small granulated sugar. Once we've finished grinding our coffee, we simply add our 25 grams of coffee to our Clever Dripper with pre-rinsed filter paper and tear off the weight. We'll now be adding 400 grams of brew water to create a 1:16 coffee to brew water ratio. Now, you can simply add or subtract some coffee to this recipe in order to adjust the ratio to suit your personal preference. So a 1:15 ratio would be something a little more heavier and concentrated, whereas a 1:17 will be a little bit lighter and more tea-like in structure. But for today, we're going to be using a 1:16 ratio. Now, we've set our coffee water at 96 degrees Celsius, but if you don't have access to a digital kettle website, then you can simply use a normal kettle, bring it up to the boil and allow it to cool for 2 minutes before applying that water to your coffee grounds. And here we press start on our timer and begin pouring in our 400 grams of brew water over our coffee grounds. Now, we are going to pour fairly quickly and aggressively here in order to help integrate the water and coffee grounds evenly. And once we've reached that 400 gram point on the scale, we simply take our lid and pop it back on the top. This helps improve the thermal stability throughout the brew process. Now, at the 1 minute mark, we will take our lid back off and we'll note that on the top, a coffee crust has now formed. From here, we grab our paddle or our spoon and simply gently stir 3 times across the top, pop the lid back on, and now we play the waiting game. Well, the waiting game is going to probably take about 2 more minutes, so this is often a really golden opportunity in your breakfast routine to pop on a piece of toast or perhaps just get down on the floor and crush out some push-ups in order to start your day. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. 98, 99, 100. Okay, we're almost at the 4-minute mark now for our brew. But before we begin decanting into our vessel here, we are going to need to take the lid off just quickly and give the surface of our coffee 3 gentle stirs in order to allow the grounds to drain down evenly. From here, we take our clever dripper, pop it on top of our decanter and cheer our brew all the way down to the bottom. Now the drawdown time should be between say 45 seconds and 1 minute and 15 seconds. For times that are a little bit quicker than 45 seconds, it means that you're probably going to need a finer grind setting in order to slow that process down. Conversely, for longer times, then a coarser grind setting is probably needed. Now from here, all you need to do is thoughtfully dispose of your coffee grounds and filter. A home composting system is a great place to start, and then give your brewer a nice clean wash with hot soapy water and you're done. For a more thorough clean, you can remove the bottom off the brewer in order to get inside, but you do need to take care when reassembling to make sure that the stoppers are put in the correct way. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a very sad and leaky dripper. And now it's time for some viewer questions. Roasty McToastinson writes in to say, I like my coffee strong. Can I use an espresso or darker styled roast with my clever dripper? Well, coffee is pretty deliciously diverse, and so I say you go for it. You will need to keep in mind though that you'll have to adjust some of your brew variables in order to avoid over extraction. So a lower water temperature, coarser grind, or reduced contact time are some of the adjustments that you should look to make. Chills von Carlsberg asks, what about in the summertime? Is cold brew an option? Great question, Chill. It absolutely is. And you can simply use a coarser grind, colder water, and pop your brewer in the fridge overnight to decant into the morning as a great start point. And so there you have it, folks. The Clever Coffee Dripper. Quick, easy, great quality coffee at home that's super affordable and consistent. I hope you enjoyed this brew video and guide, and until next time, take care. I'll see you soon.